Hey, Rick Davis here with you again from LearnTVProduction.com. I make my living predominantly as a TV director and producer, and as such, I spend a lot of time looking at camera framing, composition, and the quality of cameras. So when I got a chance to have a look at Nikon's new Z7, I jumped at it. Today, we're going to unbox the Z7 coming in the kit form, and we'll review it a little bit and we'll take a look at some of the footage from this camera. Stick around and the unboxing will begin. Okay guys, let's see what we have here today. This is the Nikon Z7 and this comes in the kit form. We have the 24 to 70 mil lens, and as well they have included for us the Nikkor Z50 mil with the 1.8S lens on it. So we will have a look at both of these. Now I'd like to provide full disclosure here today, guys. This video is unboxing and a short review, and I'm also going to show you some viz that we have shot. But this is not the first time this has been unboxed. This was loaned to me, I'll be honest with you. And so you'll see the manual has been open, but for the most part, the camera has not really been used yet. So let's have a look together and learn the unboxing and what this camera is all about, the Nikon Z7. All right, so let's start with the smaller of the two lenses that have been provided us. This is the 50 mil 1.8. with the Z mount. The Z mount is the new lenses that Nikon has come out with. We'll talk a little bit more about those as we go on. You will need a separate mount if you want to use your old lenses, the F lenses with the new Nikon Z series. Nikon does offer that as well. So here we have a look at the, you can see the warranty does come with it. This is important. It does tell you what the lens is, serial number. This is Nikon Canada we're looking at here. Important, obviously, you just want to make sure this does match the lens that comes in the case to know that you're in good shape. The manual as well that comes with it. Let's get down, see what else we have in here. The usual hood mount wraps around it, keeping any lens flare away. So here we have the 50 with the 1.8 lens on it. Solid feel to it, very solid. I have used Nikon cameras. I currently own a couple of them, the D series, 7000, 7200, and I still shoot with those. I must say these lenses, this lens does feel a little more solid than what I'm accustomed to. You can see the larger Z mount on these. All right, now let's have a look at the kit lens and camera itself. And this is the 24 to 70 kit, the way they've packaged it up here in their nice new black and gold, yellowish gold look. I guess totally in keeping with their logo colors. Against any manufacturing defects for 1 full year of data purchase. That is pretty much standard with most of the major camera manufacturers and electronics. How would we have e-commerce without bubble wrap? Oh, another solid feel to this lens. So this is the 24 to 70, the f4S lens. You see here the auto and manual settings on it. You would obviously open it, release that from its tighter fit for transport when operating it. Again, very large glass. Let me just show you by comparison. I have one of my older the F series of the F mount on here. Take a look at the difference as I bring this in for you. This is off my 7200. This is a 55 to 200 mil lens, but you can just see here the difference. Quite substantial. Give you an idea of how Nikon is moving forward. A handy dandy wipe for your lenses and camera, I'm sure. Let's get rid of that as well. All right, peripherals, what do they have in here? Strap, as you would expect. Free to use this or any other model that you have. They're all quite interchangeable. Now this is a little different, this series now. They've come out with the ability for you to both charge and download right off the camera. This is the USB to USB-C cable, which is quite a handy addition they've had. This looks like the charger. So this is your usual wall mount charger, same USB-C connector. So for this you could, now what they've changed on the Z series as well, Z series for those of you in the States I'm sure, is that you can use the camera while it is being charged. That's not a whole lot different. Now what is different though, that it will not charge the battery while it's being used. It'll be powering the camera, or you can charge the battery. It's an either or situation, so that's a little bit different. So that's direct to the camera. There's the battery, and we'll get to that in a second. Let me just look at the other. There is a second charger here, which is the same with the old Nikon D series cameras as well. This is the handy dandy wall mount. You can put it right in and your battery pops in. Looks like the same charger as they've had before, the MH25A. So in that sense, it looks the same. But I do know they have had a change with the battery. I'll talk about that in a second. What else do we have? This is an external cable mount that you would screw onto the camera if you were using it while charging it, or if you were transferring footage. You could have this connected just to ensure the cables don't pull out if you're still using the camera while you're doing it. So Nikon has given that some thought as a safety mechanism to attach to it. And the battery. Now this battery has changed slightly in that, as I say, it can be used within the camera and charged in the camera. So it is slightly different. You can still use the older batteries, and I think the only difference in these now are this is the EN-EL15B series, and all they've changed really is the other one's just the EL15. And I do have one of my older ones. I just compare that for you here. Here you can see one from my 7200. Basically the specs on them are the same, but if you want to charge it within the camera, you have to use the newer battery rather, that comes with the Z series, which is this one here. Nikon has always made a solid product. I've always been very, very impressed with it. Wow. Very nice looking. Look at the size of that opening too for that lens. As I said, the lens mounts, the glass on these Zs are much, much larger than the previous ones. Now this is Nikon's now mirrorless series, full sensor size. It is the 36 by 24 mil, just slightly under, but 36 by 24, generally known as. Now, as I said in the opening too, guys, I am mostly a video producer. I do television and video. So as such, when I am shooting with these things, I use probably for video more than I do for audio for many of the cameras that I have. We'll take a look at some of the footage off of this one as well later on, but yeah, these are a very, very solid feel to it. Ergonomically, wow, that's a nice solid grip. And the fact that it is not as bulbous as the usual DSLRs, it is a little bit lighter than the previous one, but also solid feeling. Very, very nice. And keep in mind as well, this does not have a built-in flash as some of the other D series, but as pro photographers, generally you would add your own. Anyway, I realize that I am a professional videographer, not as much as photographer, but I do still, obviously, in all our shoots, do a lot of shooting with it. So there you have it. That is the Nikon Z7. I also want to mention to you guys what it was loaded inside of this was the storage card. Now they've gone a little bit different here. For the first time, Nikon is now using the XQD cards, which are different from your old SDs in the sense that these are completely rectangular. There's no angled edges on them. So in a dark room, you would have a hard time knowing which end. There's no bevel down on one side like the SD cards have. So that is one big change that Nikon has come out with now. Another one that may for some be a concern is they've gone to only one card slot, not the two. Now they are saying that the XQD series are a more reliable. They are a little bit more expensive, so that is one of the downsides, but you know, I guess on the flip side, you are getting a better product in theory. So the quality of it should be better. I don't know if that's a game breaker for some of you, but that is one thing that you should be concerned with. It is only one slot driving in there. Okay, so as I mentioned, guys, I do want to show you some of the footage that I have shot with this camera. We've taken it outside. We've got some footage I've shot with the longer lens, as well with the 24-70, as well some with the 50. So my overall feeling on the new Nikon Z series, the Z7, is it's a great feeling camera. As you saw from some of that video, it's very crisp. Autofocus takes a little bit of getting used to in that you have multiple choices of options as to the number of focal points you want to check. So you do have to play with that a little to get comfortable with it. Slightly different from my 7000, but very good nonetheless. Has a great solid feel to it. Very, very impressed with this. Thanks very much for watching the video, guys. I hope you did find this enjoyable. Please, by all means, if you enjoyed what you saw, do give me a thumbs up and click on the subscribe down below. Love to have you on board. You'll see all the latest videos I put out on videography and writing and video production in general. And before you go, don't forget to check out one of the other videos you see down below. Thanks, guys.